Now, in the beginning of every year, you're likely to make a new resolution for yourself. This resolution could perhaps be that you need to save more. And there are very many techniques usually available online during this period of time. And you might have been tempted to try some, which unfortunately did not go down well with you. Maybe after 2 to 3 months, you are actually bored with that particular technique and you had reverted back to whatever you used to do in the past. There's a very easy technique that you can actually use in order to actually grow your saving over time. And it's actually very easy to understand. What you need to think of is one number, and that is 20%. Now, you need to ensure that you actually set aside 20% of whatever you earn. If it's a business, remember you need to have a salary where you are paying yourself. So 20% of that salary, you set it aside. Now, once you have set aside the 20%, you need to divide it into two. You have what you call an emergency fund, and then have what you call an investment fund. The emergency fund will cater for emergencies like the name suggests. So if somebody maybe at home needs you to bail them out, they were in some sort of situation and then you had to bail them out, you can use that money. If, for example, you get arrested, maybe your cover on your motor insurance has expired and you got arrested and for some reason you needed to bail yourself out. Emergencies, including also, for example, you got sick and you need to go to the hospital, the 10% will only cater for emergency. The main benefit of this is that you might be tempted to take up money for your investment. If you put everything together, you might be tempted to take again everything out. And remember, you need to really motivate yourself. You need to see your investment or your saving grow, and you really have to go and withdraw every once in a while, then you will definitely be demotivated and give up on the saving. So you divide it into two, that 20% you have an emergency fund and then you have an investment fund. So with the investment fund, you can definitely invest in money market funds. You can invest it in maybe an education policy for your child. You can maybe invest it in any way that you feel works for you. But that is specifically for investment. You won't touch that money. If need be, you only use what you call an emergency fund if there is a need. So the 80% you use it to actually better yourself. It could be that you really need this for rent, school fees, food. So you can use the 80%. That will mean that you have enough to actually keep you going and to also progress in your career. Remember, you need to maybe go back to school. You also need to look decent at work so that this can increase your chances of actually getting promoted. This is better, since if you're earning 100, that means you're setting aside your 20% is 20,000. But if now you get promoted and all of a sudden you're earning maybe 200, that means that your 20% is now 40,000. So that's the importance of actually not saving too much and using the 80% to actually grow yourself. So you are likely to see the results of this over a longer period of time. You maybe start to see your investment grow by the time you're getting to the second year or third year. That's when you perhaps start seeing some good growth on the same. And remember, the emergency funds, you can easily invest it in maybe a bank account where it's easily accessible. But once it's accumulated into a significant amount, you can put it in maybe a money market fund where it can also generate some passive income for you. So that means that your investment and also your emergency fund will also be generating income at the same time. Now, please try out this method and let me know what you think on the comment section. This is something that as an agent, I always advise my clients. See, there are people who mostly have issues with their insurance policies. You've taken up a policy and within a year or two, you want to actually get out of the same plan. Yeah, because it's become very hard for you to keep up with the same. This is because perhaps you actually took an amount that's too much for you to sustain. Yeah, it could be you're taking out like 30% of your salary and then putting in an insurance policy or maybe in money market fund, and this can actually turn out to be something challenging for you to keep up with. So remember, try out the 20%. 10% as an emergency fund, and then the other 10% as an investment fund. And I do believe that with time, you're going to see that money accumulate into something better, and your finances will be a little bit more better than they used to. So try out this method and let me know what you think.